Okay, so this is the welcome page. So I'm connecting to the sample superstore. So we'll just discuss on what are the tabs that are required and what is the usage of those tabs and how to use this tab. And as we don't require any coding knowledge, so we just need to know how to use this particular tool. So let's say if you want to show the data in column way. So basically, whenever you connect to any particular data, so we show it like this. Let's say uh, like this, we show it in a tabular format. So this is called as columnar format. So whenever you show data, so you show row wise. So you put everything in the row wise and just the headers on the top. Let's say these are the names, and this name header, this is called as an header. And these are the exact values, you can say, field values. So if I want to show customer names row wise, I will keep customer name in the row shelf so that I can see customer names row wise. And if I put the same customer name column in the column shelf, then I can see column wise. But according to any reporting, it's not good to show this way. So I'll just showing the names in this way. So we don't show it like this, but it has the capability to show the data like that. So depending on our requirement, we create the data in such a way. So while creating the charts and everything, let's say if I take an example of product, or let me take subcategory. So subcategory is one of the field. So where it designates all the products into one particular subcategory. So now I want to show sales. So I can see sales values in the columns and subcategory names in the rows. So this is how I can see. So I can see a horizontal bars. And if I want to see vertical bars, so you just need to swap it. So whatever is there in rows, you have to shift it to the columns, and whatever is there in columns, you have to shift it to the rows shelf. So within one click, you can do that. So otherwise, you need to do manual drag like this. So now you can see the vertical bars. So this is called as a vertical bar chart. And I'm just duplicating this. So to duplicate, so we have two options. You can click on this button, or you can directly right click on this tab and you can click on duplicate, which will duplicate the complete worksheet. So I just want to show the horizontal bar chart. So I'll just rename this as horizontal bar chart. And in the earlier worksheet, I have just replaced it. Manually, I have changed this to columns and columns to rows. So, but within one click, I can do that. So whatever is in rows will be shifted to columns, and whatever is there in columns will be shifted to rows. So this is how we can make horizontal to vertical and vertical to horizontal. So based on our requirement, so we'll be using what to be kept in this column shelf and row shelf. And let's say if I want to color each and every bar with a different color. So I want to see every subcategory with a different color. So if I want to see every subcategory with a different color, so we can make use of this marks cards. We can make use of this marks card. So based on this naming, we can use color marks card or size marks card or label marks card. So let's say if I want to color every subcategory with a different color. So what I will do is I'll just drag subcategory and put it in the color marks card. So I can see each and every subcategory with a different color for the visualization purpose. So now I can see each and every subcategory in a different color. And for every marks card. So this is called color marks card, size marks card, and label marks card, and tooltip marks card, and detail marks card. So for every marks card, there is a usage. So let me show you one more chart where I will create a bubble chart. So let me take region. So region, I kept it in the row shelf. So I can see central, east, south, west in the row shelf. I mean, in the row wise. And if I take sales and if I put columns, so by default, what Tableau does is, so it will automatically create a bar chart when you have a dimension and when you have a measure. So it will automatically create a bar chart. But now I want to create a bubble chart. So if I want to create a bubble chart, I can just click on this and see how these fields are getting staggered, or how these fields are getting assigned to each of the marks cards, and it will automatically segregate these fields so that it creates a bubble chart. So I'm just clicking on this. You can see that sales is placed in the size. So based on the value, the size of the circle will be there. So size of the circle is proportional to the value of the sales. And region is also placed in the label and also placed in the color, so that each and every region will be assigned with a different color. And we can see that particular region name on top of that particular bubble. And the bubble size is depending on the size value of the sales. So I'll just create one simple data. Region, east, west, north, south. So when you have only 4 fields, let's say I have this much of sales, $500 and $250, $350 and $750. And I'll save this simple data. So I'll connect this to Tableau. So connecting to Tableau is very simple. So not only to Excel files and everything. So you can also connect to SQL Server or Oracle Server. These are the multiple data sources that are available. So by just clicking on this cylinder plus icon, so you can connect to the multiple data sources. So now I have created a simple data in Excel. So I'll just connect to that particular Excel. So simple data. So I can see that data here. Okay, so with this simple data, I can create n number of charts. So just to go into the worksheet. So I can see the similar data has come into the Tableau. So east is 500, west is 250, north is 350. So if you want to identify which region has the highest sales, so you need to read the data and understand this particular south region has the highest sales. But by using Tableau, within small clicks, you can create. So let's say if you create a bar chart and sort this, so you can understand directly that south is having highest sales and west is having lowest sales. And within one click, so you will be able to create a pie chart. So to create a pie chart, you have to place region in the color marks card, and sales in the size marks card, because based on the size, based on the value of the sales, you want that particular piece to be according to that particular size. And you have to place it in the angle. So sales has to be placed in the angle. So this is the, you can directly click on pie chart and you can create, or otherwise, if you want to create manually, so you have to go to here and click on pie and put region in the color and region also in the size and region also in the angle. Sorry, sales in the size, because we want the size to be based on the sales value, and keep the sales also in the angle. So this is how you can create a pie chart. And I also want to show labels on top of this pie. So if I want to show the labels, so I'll take region and put it on the label. So I can see what this part is. So this is south region and this is west region and this is east region. And I can also show sales on top of that pie chart. Like this we can. So this is how we can connect to some simple charts, and we can connect to simple data and create some simple charts. So let's go back to this. So yeah. So this is what is row shelf, and this space is where the visualization appears. So even if you create a bar chart or a line chart or a pie chart, so this is the place where you see the visualization appears. And this is the marks card where you design the visualization. So if you want to color based on your dimensions, or if you want to specify the size of the bars or size of the circles, so you can mention that particular measure to be on the size. So based on our requirement, we make use of this marks card. And now let's discuss about filter shelf. So basically filter shelf is nothing but to restrict the data. Filter is to restrict the data or to show the relevant data. So now let's see. So let's go back to our dashboard. So I'm just clicking on a new worksheet. So as we discussed earlier, so this is to create a new worksheet, new dashboard, and new storyboard. So we mainly prepare all the worksheets using this particular new worksheet tab. And now let's go to sample superstore. So in the starting of the session, I have connected to sample superstore. And this is the simple data that I have connected later, where I have created a small Excel file and I have connected. So you can see all the list of data sources that you have connected to, and you can connect to any data source at any point of time by just clicking like this. So if you click on this, you can use simple data Excel file. And if you click on this, you can connect to sample superstore. Likewise, you can connect to Oracle. Likewise, you can connect to SQL, and you can have all the list of data sources to your left side, and you can take data from any of the data sources. So now let's take subcategory. So let me just show you what data it is. Basically, this is related to the sample superstore, where customer goes to the superstore and purchases some products. So let me sort it based on the customer name. So let's say Aaron Bergman. So this person went to the superstore and made a purchase, and this is the order ID for that purchase. And what are the products that he purchased? So these are the products that he has purchased, and what is the location of that particular store, and which segment it belongs to, when that particular product is shipped. All these details will be stored, and what is the category or subcategory that particular product belongs to. So let's say these are the products, and we have subcategories and categories for that particular products. So office supplies related products. So if we go to product here, so stacking bins. So this is related to office supplies. So they have categorized those products. So as there are many products in the data, so you can see here, so there are many products. So there are hundreds of products, and they have categorized mainly into 3 categories and 17 subcategories. So let me just show you. Product. So as we have so many products, so there are 1849 products. But they have categorized into subcategory. So accessories related stuff, they have put it in accessories. And there are other subcategories, furnishing related subcategories, and phones related subcategories. And we also have one more column, which is category, which will have the category related information. This is one more level. So all the subcategories are categorized into, yeah, furniture related stuff like bookcases, chairs, furnishings, and all this comes together. So let's say if I take sales, and what is happening here is, so basically furniture related information. Yeah, so furniture related information, and it is just summing up all the rows here, and it is giving us the information of furniture and office supplies and technology. So now we will discuss about the filter shelf. So as we have 17 subcategories here, and I don't want to see all 17 subcategories. So if I put it in the filter, so filter here we can remove, or here we can keep whatever that is relevant to our data. Let's say I want to see only these. So I'll just select manually and I will just say okay. So I can see only those six or seven subcategories. So we'll discuss separately on what exactly we can do in filter. So there is a separate session for filters. So for now, just understand it like a to restrict the data. So if you want to restrict some specific data, or you want to show only one specific relevant data, so you can show that. Let's say we have 4 regions. And at this point of time, user want to see only central region data. So you'll just select only central, and you can see central related information of furniture and office supplies and technology. So this is to restrict the data. And now let's see the pages shelf. So pages shelf is to create the animations, to create the animation effect in Tableau. Guys, if you have any questions, you can type in the comments and let me know if I'm going very fast. So yeah, so that's about filter shelf. Now let's discuss about furniture pages shelf. So for that, what I will do is I will create one simple bar chart or line chart. So let me take subcategory and let's take sales. So if I put it in the column set, it will automatically create a bar chart. But I don't want to see a horizontal chart. I want to see a vertical bar chart. So what I will do, I'll just swap. So this is a swap button. So whatever is there in rows and will be shifted to columns, and columns will be shifted to rows. So this is how I can see the subcategories information in bar chart. Okay, so now I'll keep, I want to see state wise, let's say filter. Let's start with filter. I'll show you how it works. So let's say Alabama, if I select, say okay. And we can show a filter also. A small filter will be enabled. Yeah. So this will be visible to the users. So user won't be able to see anything like this pages shelf, filters, marks card, row shelf, and column shelf will not be visible to the users. All these are developer tools. So we will only be having the access to this. So the only thing which user can see is, so when you make it in the PowerPoint presentation, like presentation mode, so only this one, whatever you see at this point of time, so only this will be visible to the user. So they will not be able to have access to this column shelf or row shelf or anything which you see it here. So once you publish, they will only be able to see this part, whatever you see here. Only this part will be visible. And if you want, if you wish, you can show the filters as well. So I'll just edit this title. And here I will keep state, so that I can see whatever I have selected here. I want to see here itself. Let's say if I select Alabama, I want to see Alabama here. And if I select Alberta, So I should be able to see Alberta. So you can see the bar lengths are changing for each and every subcategory. So if I select Arizona, so the bar height and length of the bar is getting changed based on the value or state that I'm selecting. Because in Arizona, accessories is having $3,396 of sales. But in Arkansas, the accessories might have different sales. So that is why it is getting changed. So this is manually we are doing this. But when you keep the same thing in the pages shelf, so it automatically does it. So you can play it. So there is a play button. So it will show an animation effect. So you can see Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, how the values are changing. So this is how you can do an animation effect in Tableau, where it will show you each and every state and how the values are getting impacted. So yeah, so in Quebec and all, in South Carolina, so you can see the values keep on changing. So this is, so we will use pages shelf for animation purpose. So if you want to show to the users without clicking on anything, or they can also select manually. So let's say they can stop it and they can manually select the New York and Nevada, all these things. So this is about pages shelf. So don't worry. So if you are not clear about how to create all these things, so we will go one by one. So I'm just giving an overview of what this tab does. So in coming slides, I'm going to tell you how to create simple charts using a step-by-step method. So let's just start with a line chart. So you can also use these steps to create this simple charts. So I'll just start with what chart is right for you. So depending on the data, so we should decide what chart needs to be used and what purposes. So not only related to Tableau, for any reporting tool, you have to have some reporting standards. So I will tell you one of the standard now. So when you have date, and when you have measures, date dimension and measures. So when you have date dimension and measures in your data, so it is advisable to create line chart because we show the trend and because we show change over time. So every time we have to use a line chart to show the trend when you have timeline in your data. Let's say date is a timeline which shows in January how you have performed and February how you have performed and all. So meanwhile, you can type the definition of dimension and measure in the comments. So as we have completed in our previous session, so just type in in the comments what is the definition of dimension and measures. So I'll just tell you about how to create a line chart. So let's take date fields. So this is the order date and ship date of the product. So when is that particular product is ordered and when is that particular product has been shipped. So let's say order date, and I want to see what is the sales happened on that particular order date. So I'll just create a line chart, or Tableau will automatically create a line chart. So let's say you take order date. I'm just double clicking on that and double click on sales and click on this. So this is how we can just directly create a line chart. So you can just place order date in the column shelf and sales in the row shelf, or you can just click on this and click on the line chart. So based on that, we can create a line chart here. And I want to show month-wise data. So just click on here and click on this. So this is how we can create a line chart. So now you can see the trend of the chart. So it started at some 14,518 and it ended at up 85,175. So if you want to see the trend, just right click here and click on trend lines and show trend lines. So with this, we can identify that we are trending up. So the business is performing in a good way. So we can take some insights from this line chart. So I have just given some instructions on how to create this line chart. So every particular chart will answer some questions. So what kind of question does this chart answer, and how has this measure changed in the past year to the current year? So you can it is clearly visible here. So in the previous month, in January 2020, the value is 14,518 and it went down to 4,520. So it is all visible here by creating a line chart. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Sneha. So it is all visible here. So we can create a line chart based on putting the date column here. So what happens when you put a different dimension without keeping the order date? So now let's see. So if I take sales and instead of order date, if I take region. So region is a different dimension. So Tableau is automatically giving me a bar chart because apart from day, if you take any other dimension, so as per reporting standards, it is advisable to create bar chart or any other chart, but only when you have date dimension. So it is advisable to create a line chart. So Tableau automatically suggests you to create a line chart here. So this is how we can create a line chart. So follow these steps and try to replicate this. And I'm going to provide student license keys, whoever has entered in the email IDs in the file that I have shared. So I'll provide the license to them. I'll just generate it and I'll send it across. Yeah, so now let's see how to create a correlation chart. So before I start creating the correlation chart, so let me just explain you what is correlation chart. Correlation chart is to compare between two measures. So by this we can understand. So let's say I have measure one and measure two. If my measure one is increasing, then measure two is increasing or decreasing. I want to compare that. Same, vice versa. So if measure two is increasing, measure one is increasing or decreasing. So basically, I just want to compare between two measures. So that comparison can happen only in correlation chart. So let's create a correlation chart here. So I'll just take sales and I'll just take profit. And I want to compare between subcategory. I'm just double clicking on this. Okay. So I'll just give you a classic example of what it is. So let's say I have a product, let's say mobile. So I have, so the cost of that is 1,000, or let's say 10,000. And the sale price is, I have sold it for some 10,500. So what is the profit that I'm getting? Can anyone answer? What is the profit? Krishna, Sujana, Sneha, I want everyone to respond so that these sessions are interactive. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's 500. So basically, so if my, okay, I will take one more example. Uh, let's say this time a product which has a cost of 1 lakh, and I have sold it for 1 lakh 50. So what is the profit here? Yeah. So in case of if my sales is increasing, whether my profit is increasing or not. So if you compare the sales value here, if the sales is increasing, you in case of iPhone, the profit is not increasing. So if you sell more of these products, so this is some X mobile. So more of X mobiles, you will get more profit. But if you sell iPhones, so if you let's say if you are selling 10 products of this, and if you are selling 10 products of this, so you'll get a profit of into 10, which is $5,000. 5,000. But if you sell this particular product, you will get only 500. So that is what we will identify here. So I'm just doing comparison between sales and profit. So I'm taking subcategory. So you can see here, my sales is $150,000 and my profit is $56,000. And when you see it here, comparatively, so my sales is more here, but I'm getting less profit. Here I'm getting more profit than even if my sales is less. So this is the same case here. So by this, I will be able to identify. So even if I'm getting less sales, I need to choose the products which are giving me more profit. So I have to choose copiers. So I have to more focus on copiers products because I'm getting more profit even if I'm having very less sales also. But in case of phones, if you see here, I have $331,000 of sales, but I don't have uh, high profit compared to copiers. So if you take an example like this, so you will understand if my sales is increasing, whether your profit is increasing or decreasing. In this scenario, if the sales is increasing, your profit is not increasing. So depending on some of the subcategories, so your sales is not proportional to the profit. So that is what we can identify. So for that, we create this correlation chart. Correlation chart to understand the common differences or common things between the two measures. To compare two different measures. And to take insights from that. So this is how we can create a correlation chart. So I have given steps to create the correlation chart. So follow the steps and create correlation chart and understand the differences between the sales and profit, whether this particular sales, if the sales is increasing, the profit is increasing or decreasing. So you understand the difference between those sales and profit. So now let's create the magnitude chart or the bar chart. Magnitude or bar chart. So basically, the length of the bar is proportional to the value of the sales. So by seeing the visualization, we can understand which particular category or which particular region has the highest sales or the lowest sales. So by seeing the length of that, we can identify that. So we use this particular bar chart other than date dimension. Other than any date dimension, we can use bar chart for any other dimensions. So now let's say subcategory. So if I put it in the rows, I can see subcategory names in the rows. And if I take sales in the column shelf, so I can see sales in the columns and I can see a horizontal bar. So if you put it in the sales in the column shelf, then you can see horizontal bar. I'm just duplicating this. And if you click on this swap, you can see a vertical bar. And here it is not easy to understand which one is the highest one. So you have to compare chairs and phones. You have these are the only lengthy bars. So you need to again see the values. Which one is bigger? 335 and 331. So this is bigger. But instead of seeing like that, you can just sort it so that you will understand which bar has the highest value. Yeah, so you can see that chairs has the highest value. So here you can do sorting based on ascending or descending. so, so I have also given steps to create a bar chart. So now let's move on to another slide, which is Tableau Session 3. I'll just open that PPT. So where I'm going to explain about some other different charts. So in bar chart only, we have different varieties of charts. So we have seen horizontal bar chart and vertical bar chart. So now let's see deviation type of charts. So deviation type of chart should have a negative values measure. Measure should have negative values. So there is no chance that in sales you will have negative. So let's say, as said, I have given an example like mobile, right? So the cost of the mobile is, let's say 10,000 and sale amount is like 10,500 and profit, if you are selling it for 10,500, then you will get a profit of 500. But if you are, in some cases, if the product is not going at all, so what they do is sometimes they sell it for very less or not even less than the cost also. So you will get a negative profit. So in profit measure, you will have negative values. So let's stay in Superstore data also, we have negative values for profit. So let's take subcategory and instead of sales, now take profit. And sort this. So by this, you can understand by selling supplies, products, bookcases, products, tables, you're getting negative profit, meaning you're not at all getting any amount from it, but you are giving something from your pocket. So it is, it is not advisable to put focus on this supplies or bookcases, tables related products in that particular superstore. So we can easily identify that. And we can also highlight this thing. So what is giving me positive profit and what is giving me negative profit. So just drag and drop this particular profit in the color marks card. So it will show you positive values in one color and negative values in a different color. So positive values you can see in blue color, and negative values you can see in light orange color. So the intensity of the color represents the value of the sales. If the intensity is more, that means the value is more. If the intensity is less, that means the value is less. And in this particular scenario, I just want to color it based on the positive and negative. So what I will do is I'll just double click on this legend. So these are called legends. So just double click on this and click on this stepped color and select only two, as I want to see negative and profit. So that is why I'm selecting only two steps. So I'm just say okay. So I can see negative in brown color and positive in blue color. Or I can select whatever color I want to see. So if I say red, green, divergent, so I can just select that. And green is nothing but positive profit and red is nothing but negative profit. So this is called deviation type of chart. And so now we are going to discuss a very important chart, which is distribution and also called as a histogram chart. So now let's discuss about histogram chart. So this is very important chart. This is not directly available in Tableau. So we have to do some task for that. So let's say if you want to create any particular bar chart or line chart, you have everything is available here. But to create a histogram chart, there are some certain procedures that you need to do. You have to follow some steps to create a histogram chart. So like that, so not only 24 charts which are visible here. So not only these 24 charts, you can create n number of variety of charts, but to create those n number of variety charts, you have to follow certain steps to create those charts. So now let's see how to create a histogram chart. So histogram chart is to identify the frequency of the data. So let's say I will take an example of movies. So let's assume this as movies. And I have a rating of 4. So this is the rating that is given by the movie watchers. Okay. So I want to see the persons who gave rating, the number of persons who gave rating in between 1 to 3. Number of person who gave rating between 4 to 6. 7 to, let's take 10. So this is called bin. So I'm just grouping this particular measures. So grouping the measures is called bin. So now I want the count of movies. Okay. So now tell me what are the number of movies which are in the range of 1 to 3. I mean, who got the 12, 13? Yeah. So 2 movies. What about 4 to 6? Krishna, can you answer? I think it's 5, right? 4 to 6. 6 also will be considered. 5 movies. Okay. 7 to 10. Sujana, can you answer? Five. Okay. So it is total 12 and we have 12 movies. Okay, perfect. So this is how we can see that, and we can identify that people are mostly giving a rate of 4 to 10. 4 to 6 we have 5 movies, and 7 to 10 we have 5 movies. So this is a different way of visualizing the data, and we can understand most of the people are giving the rating in the range of 4 to 10, and 1 to 3 people are giving very less rating. I mean, only for few movies they are giving rating as 1 to 3. So this is what we can identify. So now let's take the same data. I'll just take the same data. So as I have created manually here, I have created the bin manually, but in Tableau, we can create it automatically. So I'll just show you how to create that automatically in Tableau. So I'll just connect. So click on this connect to new data source. Click on this Excel and click on histogram. And take sheet 2. Okay, so you can see all the list of movies and rating. So you can see the data coming here. Movies and rating. So we have 12 movies and 12 rating, 12 different ratings. Okay, so now let's see. So I'll create bin, whatever I have created in manually here just now. So yeah, this one. I'll just try to replicate this in Tableau. So I don't have to create manually like this, like 1, 2, 3 like this. Just go to create and create bins. And here I have to specify the size. How many items has to be in that? Let's say 1, 2, 3. That means 1, 2, 3. So there are 3 items here. I mean 3 values. So how many values you want to be in that? So let's mention 3 only here. Say okay. And put it here. So you can see starting from 0. So it will start from 0. So 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. So there will be 3 values here. So Tableau will show like this only. So 0, it will show 0. That means it will have 0, 1, and 2. So the ratings between these things, I mean 0, 1, and 2 will be there in this particular bin. And let me just do a duplicate. And I want to see the count. Just take the count. So just right click on the dimension, as we were trying to find out the count of those movies, right? So in Tableau, what we have to do is take the movies column and just click on this, go to measure and click on count. So it will automatically count that. So let's just click on this and put it in the label. Just drag and drop and put it in the label. Yeah. So there are 2 movies with a rating of 0 and 1, 2. Meaning, let's just compare. So there are only 2 movies with 1 and 2 rating. So it is automatically counting. And 3, 4, 5. So we have given a size of 3 values. So 3, 4, 5 will be there in this. So there are 3 movies which has 3, 4, 5 rating. 3. Yeah, there are 3 movies which has 3, 4, 5 rating. So like this, it will automatically count. So not only, so I'm just giving an example. So for this 12 items, so it is automatically doing this part, which we have manually done. But in real time, if you go, So let's go to sample superstore data. So if you go to sample superstore data, so I'll then just starting. So in ratings, we have values starting from 0 to 10. But in sales, we have starting from 0.442. We have values till 22,638. So now here in this case, I want to create a bin size of 500. So values starting from, I want to have values, 500 values in that. So now let's see how we can create a bin on top of the sales. So let's say sales and right click on this and go to create, click on bins. And Tableau will also automatically suggest you based on the values, and it is suggesting you to keep a size of 446, but I can keep it as 500. So as we know that it will start with 0. So 0 to 499, so it will have 500 values. 500 to 999, it will have 500 values. So even if it is showing you 500, that means it will have 500 to 999 values. And now I want to know how many customers are purchasing in that particular range. So now what I will do is I'll just take the count of customers. So I'm just right clicking on this and I will take count distinct. And I'll put this in the label so that I can see. I want to see a bar chart. So I'll just click on this. Yeah. So with this, what we can identify is the persons who are purchasing in the range of 0 to $499 or more when compared to other ranges. So there is only one person who purchased in the range of $22,500. So most of the people, when you go to Superstore, they will purchase in the range of 0 to $499 only. So that is what we can identify with a histogram chart. So this is called as an histogram chart. So for this, what you have to do is you have to make both in continuous so that it is clearly visible. 0 to $499, you have 797, and starting from 499 to 500 to 999, you have 441 customers. So this is what we can understand from a histogram chart. So where it will show you the frequency. So in case of movie ratings that we see here, so in that particular frequency, in 4 to 6 and 7 to 10 only, most of the people have given rating. And if you see 1 to 3, there are only 2 movies which got one in the range of 1 to 3. So to see in what range the customers are going to purchasing in the superstore, so we create this particular histogram chart. So I have given instructions and steps to create this histogram chart. So we'll continue tomorrow. So try to practice till here. So whoever needs a Tableau license, just post in the chat. Just message in the group chat so that I will provide you Tableau license for the student so that you can practice while listening to the classes. So any questions before we wind up the session? Okay, then. Thank you all for joining. We'll continue tomorrow.